My presentation consists of the background problem and the research plan, as well as a summary of the findings from user testing and the metrics measured from these testing sessions. To begin with some context, Prime Care's overall mission is to keep their customers healthy, and hence the creation of HabitHero, the app to help customers track their healthy habits, reach their health and fitness goals, whilst receiving points and reaching different tiers, which then allows them to receive monetary discounts and benefits to improve their health and fitness further. The initial HabitHero MVP received feedback that users were having issues understanding and tracking their goals and progress achievements. And from my initial research, I narrowed down to a single hypothesis to develop further, which aligns to this main user problem. The overall success goal of Habit Heroes is to increase the monthly users, which are achieved by increasing user retention and conversion. And this presentation sets out the work that I've done to test the chosen hypothesis with a research plan, which then has formulated into a prototype creation to then user test and present the findings of those user tests. With my chosen hypothesis of that users aren't satisfied with the MVP's daily time frame view, I intended to find out more by understanding user behavior and needs, better regarding time frame choice, selection of time frame, and how goal achievements and health and fitness progress tracking can be visualized for greater understanding of where they are right now and what more they need to do to progress further in their health and fitness goals. My user testing script was designed to further my understanding of users' own understanding and behavior of their habits or goals and their health and fitness tracking. And this then moved on to the task-specific asks with the prototype for which success usability metrics can be tracked and allowed for them to talk through their thoughts whilst using the prototype. And here I've displayed essentially my research goals and questions that I intended to find out with my user testing script, and the link is here in the presentation to delve into further. So working with the character traits and needs of my chosen user persona, which was a professional who essentially led a sedentary lifestyle due to their job and due to their own personal time, but really wanted to become a lot fitter anyway. And so I selected two people who were willing, individuals who also sat within that user persona to test my prototype and answer my questions. And these sessions were held either at their home or via a Teams call, which was facilitated by myself. So it was two users via a desktop screen using the Figma prototype with the average age of 38, which sat within the target audience of HabitHero. And I compiled the problematic user testing findings categorized by the user flow point and their severity and recommendations to iterate further. There were a couple of issues on the dashboard related to the UX copy, the text size and contrast with the other surrounding elements. The main one is the term that I used of goals met within the dashboard page. As looking back, I see that this assumes that goals have been met, but this is where users were finding it confusing, as it was also displaying the number 0, and therefore that doesn't quite tally. Another issue was the chart displaying the weekly goals gave one test subject confusion, as they found it didn't meet their expectations of how these would be presented. And there are a couple of navigational issues related to contrast and similarity of the design, where either they were too similar or there wasn't enough contrast in colour. And I believe that this stems from the nature of the mid-fidelity wireframe, where I did not prioritize the colors, the icons, or design system throughout, which I believe would be rectified through further refinement within the high fidelity prototype. The questions asked after the task-centric section of the user testing sessions displayed attitudes to the overall perception of health and fitness goals and progress tracking, which this hypothesis was not initially designed to persuade to change. But these user attitudes are interesting to learn, and they could, in fact, hinder any timeframe design feature or refinement within the prototype. However, I believe personalization of how often goals are meant to be achieved and the feedback loop of progress may be sufficient to these types of users rather than attempt to change their attitude. And then onto the metrics measured. So I wanted to be sure that time frame selection was clear and quick. And when they wanted to find out different user data, so they could understand the current impact of their activities and what else they needed to do. Time on task is key to good UX. The attitudinal question was to create a benchmark where I could re-ask in future testing. And also it defines the perception of the app as it stands now. In asking how many goals there were of the day, made clear to me that both the dashboard daily goals met component and its related weekly chart was clear to the user. The time and task regarding the goals met is something I have addressed already, and this could be reduced and improved with learning what users expect and what they react to. And this ends my findings, with the next step being to iterate the designs further into a high fidelity prototype, aligning with this user feedback.